Okay, hi everyone. So we are going to discuss this the mock examination paper part 2. So in part 1, we talk about the question number 1 and question number 2, which is small business. To recap about the case study here about the band, like a DNS, drums and stick. They are selling DNS in a Singapore shopping center. DNS is a percussion instrument selling business, small business owned by Dan Morgan. And later on, he find out that the question number 2, he wanted to convert this business into like a drumming school also, and then he started recruiting employees, recruiting people, the tutors into the organization. So as a result, you can see he actually able to find out, the tutors, and he asking us what is the best method to recruit them, and then interview method is important of interview people, and then we find a 9-mark question also, and what are things in the person specification of a tutor, and then everything like so 9-mark question also like that is we talk about the 9-mark question based on application form and the CV. We got justify between those two options, which is more better, which is more important for the DNS. So both options are okay, perfect, but you have to pick one option and justify why that option is better than other. So CV is a method of that you can more information can be obtained from a CV, but it takes some time to evaluate and shortlist candidates. However, the application form is not like that. The application form is like a short and more concise, specific information. So you can target the information, everything like easily you can shortlist and everything you can do. So, question number 3. Question number 3 here, they define the term marketing. So today we are starting with that one. So question number 3 usually consists of like a defined question, outline question, calculate question, and then 9-mark also. Right. So define the term marketing. So you can answer this question in verbally or chat line. Marketing definition. According to the American Association of Marketing, this is specific definition is there. The key 3 words known as IAS, right? In our previous discussion, I think I have mentioned that. Also, like IAS, marketing is a process of identification, anticipating, and satisfying consumer needs and wants profitably. Marketing is a process of identification, anticipating, and satisfying consumer needs and wants profitably. That is called the marketing. The marketing. So that's a marketing definition. So marketing is like overall like a managerial process. Is actually wanted to like a identification and anticipating and satisfying the consumer needs and wants. So, and part B, you can see outline one factor that affect the prices set by DL. So this is a pricing decisions. When we are product pricing, so when you're pricing a product, we are so factors we actually concerning, like for example, the cost of the manufacturing, the cost of the product, competitor prices, the government taxes, and sometimes sometimes the external factors, sometimes inflation. So these things normally we are going to concern before we pricing. So at least one of these factor, yet when you're writing this thing, don't forget outline question we need to apply. Application is important. So a lot of students, they are losing 1 mark unnecessarily because of not applying the case study. So here, application, how can you involve, say, competitors pricing is a factor affecting. So you can see competitors prices such as the drum set prices of Yamaha or Mapex. There are some brand names. You can see the question expression. There are brand names there. So other drum set prices, other drumming equipment prices produced by other music centers like Yamaha is impacted. So going rate pricing if you are doing, so you have to concern about the current market price of the other competitors' products. So when you're writing about the other competitors' product, you can mention some names such as Yamaha, because they know it's very specific and applied to the music industry like that. We can talk about the cost of importing drums. Cost of importing drums, that's another thing. So import cost is a factor, but cost of importing what? Importing drums and sticks. Cost of importing drum is a part of the factor affecting price. So you can easily earn this mark. Outline one factor means you have to briefly give one factor and application, right? Not like a state question. You have to briefly outline. We have to briefly describe that also. One factor, right? You can see cost of importing drums and stick from other countries, such as from Japan. So in the previous question, there's a calculation, conversion of the Japanese yen to Singapore dollar. So like that, cost of importing drums from Japan, that will be important because the import cost will be important for the setting prices. You should be able to cover the import cost. Right, like that you can mention so many other factors. The cost of the prices charged by other drums and companies. Prices charged by other drumming companies such as Yamaha. Prices charged by other music industries such as Yamaha and Casio or whatever, Roland. You can mention according to your knowledge. You can write that thing. So factor you can write and also tell something regarding the music industry, drumming industry, and you can earn that now. Okay, let's go to calculation question. So I'm invited you to actually send the answers to the chat line, or you can tell the answer. It's an easy question. This calculation is a cost plus pricing calculation. There are certain pricing strategies. Cost plus it's a cost-based pricing, and computer-based pricing is there, such as psychological pricing and the markup pricing and everything. So cost plus pricing. So how can we do this thing? The cost plus pricing, you are adding some kind of a markup to the cost of the item. Here, the cost of the drum set, the brand, Mapex, model number is a starter drum set. Starter drum set. This is called that drum set. The code DS0846. Right. So this is just a brand and model number that is not that much relevant for the cost plus pricing. We need only cost and the markup is enough. So calculate selling price of the drum is using cost plus pricing. When using cost plus pricing, so how to calculate 285 plus 25% of the 285. Cost plus pricing is like that. 285 into 25%. 285 into 25%. So that is the cost plus. So I got one answer correct, 356.25. So how can we calculate 285 multiplied by 25%? So that 25% is 71.25. If you add the 71.25 to 285, the answer coming 256.25. 256.25. So you can show the answers there in the given space. So you should write the answer in 2 decimal places because it's a currency value. Singapore dollar, 285 plus 25% means 356.25. So this, with the 25% markup, you can sell this item at the market for yes. Even you can get the marks like yes. That's one student asking if you multiply 285 by 125%, would you still get marks? Yes, you still get marks. You need to multiply separately. You can just calculator. You can type 285 to 125%. Then you still get this answer to 356.25. Even without working from your correctly, if you put the inputs in the calculator, if you get the answer through 356.25, you can still get the marks. You can still earn the marks, right? You can still earn that marks 356.25. 356.25. So that's how we have to calculate the selling price of a drum set using cost plus pricing in this case. So even with or without working, if you produce the correct answer, edX will actually offering 2 out of 2. But I'm always giving you advice to show your workings, because in case if your answer is incorrect, or sometimes you not mention this answer with the 2 decimal points or not mention the currency value, something like that. So you can actually lose some mark. Therefore, don't take that risk. Show your workings. So that's the easy thing to do. Even your answer wrong, that workings correct, you can still learn that one. Okay. Next, we are going to the part D. Analyze the 2 benefits of DNS of using social media to help gather information from consumers. 2 benefits of DNS of using social media. Social media is a kind of always now everyone very familiar with this social media thing because of the 21st century. Everyone using social media. So social media platforms, the most common platforms are like social media platforms is YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. Like that, there are so many platforms are there in social media. So they're asking two benefits to analyze the DNS of using social media for what? To help into the gathering the information from consumers, right? To help gather information from consumers, right? So this is the main idea. How can you get the information from social media to gather information about from customers, consumers? So consumers are always actually, there are so many consumers are there in the market, in social media. Also, there are billions of people using social media platform. So for DNS, it's a musical, right? Musical instrument selling organization, plus they are offering now drumming lessons also. So if you are an organization like that, how can you use social media to gather information from consumers? So you can use social media to make online survey, right? For example, you can target market is popular is there. For example, most of the time the young people, beginners, like teenagers, they would like to actually play drums. Okay, so you can select your target market, even the geographical area. If you are selling in Singapore, so you can actually target Singapore customers, and you can actually your target marketing is okay that you are Singapore, all that young people and that age group you can actually separately specifically you can target and you can get the information from there. So DNS is like that. Two benefits of the DNS you can see. Number one, you can focus the target market such as the drumming music lovers like in the Singapore, or even you can actually from overseas also. So worldwide, you can distribution also possible from social media because you can, it's a kind of promotion method also you can. But here they are asking not the promotion, how social media help into gathering information from consumers. So social media, I can say, is a 24/7 hours. You can actually, social media is very low cost. I can say the social media such as the webs, even the Facebook and WhatsApp surveys and everything very really cheaper for them to actually use. Sometimes free of charge. Only it's cost only the data and broad market, like we can reach like a broad reach is there, millions of customers, potential customers you can reach. So that's a main benefit of social media. So how can it apply to the case study? The millions of customers who in Singapore, millions of customers in Singapore, in music lovers, so they will be able to get the information quickly, and it's very easy and comfortable them to all very convenient method of gathering information and analyzing information through social media. There are some apps are there developed in social media, such as in WhatsApp specifically. Like you can use some third-party apps such as Survey Monkey and all. So survey methods are there. Online survey method you can easily use through social media, and quick feedback you can get from the children and the youngsters who actually prefer to buy drums and stick from them. So that two advantages of social media you have to write according to the drums and stick. If you just write the advantage such as cheaper method and convenient, quick feedback, broad reach, all that things without the application of the drums and stick, so you are getting only maximum 3 marks. So try to write two BLT points. This drums and stick DNS will be able to get a broad reach from the social media. Is easy to convenient method of using that to collect information from the surveys and everything from WhatsApp and Facebook. You can use to gather information from the potential teenagers and the music lovers in Singapore. As a result, this will be able to the marketing department, or they will be able to DNS. So Dan Morgan will be able to get more quick feedback for their market research from the social media, like that. So that's the way you have to write and develop an answer, one paragraph. So two paragraphs we need like that. Okay. And part E, question number 3 is a 9-mark question. This time 9-mark question asking the financial management section. This financial management is this is a year 11 topic that is your topic. Like Dan Morgan is successful but has cash flow problems. Dan believes that this problem is temporary and could be solved by using a short-term source of finance. He believes that this is a problem is a temporary and that could be solved by using a short-term source of finance. So which of the options do you believe would be the most appropriate for Dan? What's the most appropriate for, method of source of finance for Dan? Option 1, using his personal credit card. Using his personal credit card. Or borrowing from his friends and family and friends. So both options are correct because sole trader, small business, you can't expect more than that because he can't issue shares, he can't actually issue debentures, he can't actually go to a share market to raise finance. But so sole trader, one person, these are the main source of finance that he can use to actually in an organization. So this case is using personal credit card. Credit card is an external source of fund, external source of finance. And second option is a borrowing from his family and friends as another external source of finance, because only thing always you can get the help from your family members and also your friends. So if you have any financial difficulty, if you have a cash flow problems, when you start a business, there are so many cash flow problems coming. Sometimes paying rent, paying wages and salaries, sometimes paying the import costs you have to pay. So if you don't have any financial backup system, if you're actually running out of cash, then you can't actually do the business. So working capital is really important. So Dan believes that his problem is temporary and could be solved by using a short-term source of finance. Which of the options do you believe would be the most appropriate for Dan? Which of the option do you believe would be the most appropriate for Dan? So option one, using his personal credit card or borrowing. So if you take option one, both options are correct. So if you can pick one option and then write the two advantage and one disadvantage there. So if you take the personal credit card, it's a method that you can actually easily finance because it's a short-term method. It's a very flexible method you can use to purchase online orders also from credit card. You can say he can even order items from like Japan or Indonesia or drums and the equipment he can import online also by using his credit card. And also there are certain credit facilities are there. You have like a flexibility because you have some credit card they offer like 2 months, sometimes 45 days credit period to repay. Therefore, it provides some flexibility after importing. You can quickly sell your stocks and you can make cash and you can quickly settle the credit card bill. Then you can make your money. So it provides some flexibility also for the credit card organization and to quickly settle the cash flow problems because he's running out of cash and at this point he believes the problem is a temporary problem. So he's thinking that he could be solved by using a short-term financing. It's a temporary problem. Sometimes we have to pay for his supplier. So credit card will be more flexible and easy method, convenient method. But there are problem is also there. Credit card is very costly for normally if you unable to pay within 45 days. The credit card company charge high interest rates. So therefore, it is costly for the Dan if you're unable to pay only, right? But if you're able to pay within that given time period, is interest free. That's a flexibility. But the working capital you can quickly manage. But in case, so if they are unable to settle the credit card bill on the given time period, so that means definitely he will be gonna making huge trouble. Sometimes he's making the cash flow problem more serious because then credit card company charge high interest from you. Then the problem will be more severe. So that's a problem. So give two advantages. It's more flexible and you can do online transactions. You can quickly settle that and then interest-free time period also there. You can say that also. For Dan, he can settle quickly and he can interest-free time period also offer. Therefore, that benefit is there in order to settle the bills for the suppliers for the drums. Or if you want to settle the bill, pay some rent or something, you can quickly take the money from the credit card and you can pay that. So give kind of application example from the case study for this. And however option you can say credit card, however, is an expensive method of earning money because in case if you are unable to pay in the given time frame, that will be a problem for you. Okay, option two, borrowing from his family and friends. That's another second option. Borrowing from his family and friends. In this case, family borrowing is a problem in organization. Sometimes it's very flexible method because sometimes you can ask money from his mom, dad, uncle, aunt. Family and friends, this will be very flexible and no documentation you need. Therefore, Dan can quickly ask the money, which is very personal thing. Sometimes the problem here is sometimes the money they are offering is not enough for you. Right? If you ask something, let's say you need $15,000, but they only say sometimes auntie say your uncle or someone they say, okay, I can give you only $5,000. Is that okay? Sometimes that is not enough for them. That is not enough for, that is not required for them to satisfy the needs. That's another problem. So, and secondly, you can say family and friends, sometimes they can come for influencing for you, right? So they can, if you use that borrowing, if you use this family and friends, that financing option, sometimes they might influence your business. Sometimes your aunt or uncle might come and asking some certain discount from your products, right? So for your friends, sometimes they say, okay, I have one of my sons, like my cousin's place is there, let's go. And then if they come to your place and if they ask some discount from you, you can't actually reject that. You have to give that discount. They are sometimes like that. They are influencing sometimes for your decisions in your business because they are relying on their funds. And the worst case is sometimes you can say with Dan unable to pay them. So then what happen? Your friends, the relationships, family relationships, friendships, everything what happen? It might be damaged. Then you can't face them again. So that's another problem, severe problem, because financing is okay, but if unable to pay it, unable to settle them, then this will be a problem for them again in an organization. Like now, Dan also will be unable to face them. Their friendships, their relationships, everything can be damaged. So as a result of that, it will become a severe stress and pressure for Dan in order to continue the business. So these are the main good and bad sides. So at least when you're writing this 9 marker like a 1 page, so you have to write like 2 advantages and 1 disadvantages and some ending conclusion. However, it depends. Like that. So in this question, you say, however, it depends on the Dan's ability to repay. However, it depends on the strength of the friendship, or the how much they believe about the Dan. Everything. So both method you can see no documentation, no collateral. Those are the other options. So the however problem you can see credit card, there's a high interest rate, and if you're unable to pay, huge interest have to pay on given time. But friends and family thing, it's a, you can sometimes tarnish your reputation, and sometimes at the end your relationship also can be damaged. These are the main disadvantages and advantages of this question. Okay, that's the end of question number 3. Let's go to question number 4. Question number 4, there are only 3 questions: 2 marker, 6 marker, and 12 marker. This 2 marker question, this is kind of questions are there in last like a couple of like a past papers also we see cash flow questions like this. So this question asking to calculate the opening balance of the DNS. Right. So I would like to welcome your answers from the chat line again. So you can calculate cash. Their given information is cash inflow $90,000, cash outflow $100,000, closing balance $255,000. So I'm going to recap the cash flow formula. Cash closing balance formula is equal. You can see the closing balance equal opening balance plus net cash flow. Opening balance plus net cash flow. So net cash flow means inflow minus outflow. So here net cash flow is negative. We can see outflows is greater than inflow. So 90,000 minus 1 lakh is minus 10,000. Minus 10,000 value is there. So, and opening balance we don't know. That's the answer they're asking. Opening balance plus minus 10,000 equal 255,000. Therefore, you should know, in order to reach 255,000 with the negative value, how much opening balance you should have. So I got the answer from 2 students in the chat line. Both the answers are correct. The answer is 265,000. 265,000 US dollars. Answer is correct. How we got that answer? So if you take this answer as 200 opening balance, if you take like X. Opening balance plus net cash flow is minus 10,000. So X minus 10,000 equal 255,000. Then X equal 255,000 plus 10,000. That is opening balance should be 265,000. So it's an easy answer, easy question also. If you know this formula, opening balance plus net cash flow equal closing balance, you can go reverse calculation and you can see 265,000 minus 10,000 is the 255,000. So answer is 265,000. 2 marks for that correct answer. Well done. Okay, let's go to the B, analyze question. just like extension of the cash flow thing, they're asking analyze imports of cash flow forecast to DNS. Imports of cash flow forecast. Cash flow is really important because we have this is also very famous question in the past papers. Imports of cash flow forecast. You can normally if FMG. There's a three advantages of cash flow forecast. It helps you to forecast the future. It's a forecast, so therefore it helps DNS. It helps Dan Morgan to forecast the future. Cash inflows and outflows you can forecast. But at particular month for next month, this much of inflows are there, this much of outflows are there. Therefore, Dan Morgan has some kind of idea, okay, get some kind of a forecast. He can actually get some kind of forecast about the future. Therefore, he can better manage his business organization. The second advantage, you can see M. It gives kind of like a motivation for the Dan also to finding out that. So as a result, that he want to motivate more, like he will like more motivated, provide some kind of a like with the note information. So therefore, he actually can get better information with that motivation. He know at which point he actually has more money. At which point he had to spend more money. At which point at particular month he actually running out of cash. So this cash flow surpluses and deficits, everything you have to get more information. So everything you have to get to know in that particular way. Cash flow forecasting. So first one is provide some kind of like a financial forecasting for you. You can forecast the future. As a result, Dan will be and the employees can be motivated by looking at that. He can have some targets. At particular one, I should earn this much of items. I should sell this much of items. Like that can be self-motivated. He can get some ideas, and also finally, the G stand for provide some guideline for the owner. Provide some guideline for the Dan in order to manage the business. It's like a guideline, it's like a map for the Dan. So actually in order to carry out the business in future. So that's how the imports of cash flow forecasting they are going to Dan. DNS, always he can use this information. Drums and stick, he can utilize this money properly. The cash flow forecast can be beneficial for him like that way. So it's FMG thing, and we only need to write the imports and then do advantage of that with the help of the case study. So you can see that as I mentioned, forecasting, motivation, guidance, everything. You can see it applied to the case study. So don't write only the dance name. You can write the DNS instead of DNS, you can write about the other thing, drums and stick. You can provide the better information about the sales forecasting. So cash flow forecast, you can find out the shortages and surpluses in the future periods, and he can better prepare for it. He can get kind of like a other source of finance, such as asking money from friends and family members, take an overdraft facility, take a credit card facility. He can go for like a leasing options, like so. You can talk about like a more information. So give your answer, expand your answer, give more links to your answer. So what has happened? So forecasting is okay, advantages. Then as a result of that, he can get better decision and he can prepare for the bad, prepare for the worst scenario. So that's a good and bad both is there. So you can get good solution also you can determine from this. So that's 6-marker question. We're going to the last question of this paper, the 12-marker. 12-marker question. 12-marker is the longest question in the and the highest marks provided to 12-marker. So Dan Morgan imports most of his drum from China. Due to the coronavirus outbreak, there is a growing concern about the integrated international supply chains. Retailers may face a threat of closing their operations in China. Retailers may face a threat of closing their operations in China. So as a result, online orders to DNS Amazon trading platform flooded in January 2020. So further, Dan is looking to source from other Asian countries such as India, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So we had to looking into other suppliers also, not only China. So meanwhile, the value of Singapore dollar increased against the Chinese yuan. So when I'm designing this question for the mock exam paper, so I actually want to give kind of like a recent information, like a kind of pandemic. Everyone actually now suffering from this. So I want to give that part also because I know you're experiencing right now that situation. So I want to give kind of like so that you can easily give some kind of more points about this. But main area I want to actually checking here. You can see there are so many areas are there. He actually Amazon trading platforms, online orders increasing, and he's looking to other suppliers like not China, because Chinese suppliers are not, they are giving because of their business actually nowadays like closed. And so other countries like India, Indonesia, Vietnam, they're thinking, he's thinking of actually purchasing from them. And meanwhile, the Singapore dollar appreciate also. So because that means the value increase. Singapore dollar become more stronger currency than Chinese yuan. So this is the situation. So what is the question they're asking? Evaluate the likely external factors. Evaluate the likely external factors that may affect D and S, drums and sticks. Right? So external factor concept they're asking. So I wanted to I put this question in order to actually, there are so many areas are there in this paragraph you can talk about. You should use information as well as your own knowledge. So main areas I'm actually targeting here, external factors, external factors, political, economical, social, technological, right? PEST, social, technological, cultural factors, and then ecological factors, legal factors, economic environment, everything. But here you can see first point, right? He's importing most of the drum set from China's economic environment, import export. And coronavirus outbreak is a pandemic coming under external influence, under coming under social environment. It's coming from the natural environment. So society and the natural is go through like a climatical thing, like climate change. No one can't actually change this thing. So virus outbreak. So that also, everything actually uncertain, unexpected. So we can't actually control. So everyone actually affecting. And also there's a growing concern about integrated international supply chain, economic environment. Retailers may facing a closing their operations in China, economic environment. Right? Online orders, technological environment. So we can talk about technological environment, the good side of this. There are bad side as well as good impacts also. Bad impacts, good impact. The good side, good story. The Amazon orders, flooding. Further, right, he's looking to source from other Asian countries such as India, Indonesia, Vietnam. This is another economic factor, globalization. International, like this company must be able to actually go to free trade from other countries, import and export, globalization, growing integration of the world economies, right? And value of the Singapore dollar increasing, currency appreciation, economic environment. So many factors are there. When you're writing your answer, you can plan so many things. So 12 marker, I again explain the structure for 12 marker. You should come up with some introduction para or definition para. What is meant by the external factor? You can give the example of the external factor. You can see here. External factors mean external environment, mean the factors which is out of the control of the business. This case, DNS actually, they're affecting so many external factors such as technological environment, such as Amazon trading platform, and economic environment such as import export difficulties, and then foreign currency appreciation. So you can take one or two. So one or two economic factors and social factors. Corona, we can talk about COVID-19 outbreak, right? So you can talk about the actually 2-3 factors you can talk about or in your introduction. Then you can start with the good side. So normally I'm telling to give like 2 good points and 2 bad points and give some conclusion. Introduction, 2 good points, 2 bad points, and introduction, conclusion. 2 good points in the sense you can see there are 2 good stories are there in this case study, the given para. 2 good stories. One is the technological, the online platform, Amazon. They are giving platform flooding the orders from Jan 2020 because people can't travel, people can't go to their shops. Therefore, they order online. So that's another advantage. You can see, therefore, technological environment will help to boost their sales, drums and other equipments. Because of that, they can increase their revenue and they can survive, they can maximize their profit. So they can be more successful and they can earn more money. And all, you can see, moreover, Singapore dollar will be more appreciated. And in this time, you can see Singapore dollar appreciated against China, which means he can actually, the cost of importation, everything will be low now because when currency appreciated, good for the importers. It's good for the importers, bad for the exporters. So when currency appreciate, you can say it's good for the DNS because his import cost will go down. As a result of that, he can actually import more items, more drums and sticks, more musical instruments from other countries, from like Indonesia, India, and from China also, especially Chinese yuan again. So from China, he can easily import items with a low cost. With that thing, so you can see reduction of cost will increase, lead to increase the profitability of the organization. Therefore, Dan can maximize his profit again. So these are the two advantages. So currency advantage and the online advantage. However, now we can start with, on the other hand, the negative side we can talk about. However, there is a coronavirus outbreaks everywhere in the global in that time. So this situation will be, actually can see the pandemic situation will be worsened, and then most of the time most of the countries are locked down and people can't travel. So as a result of that, his sales can be affected as a result of that. Specifically, his supply chain can be affected from that. Especially he can't import anything from China right now because of that pandemic thing. So that's a bad point. And also you can talk about that that sometimes the sometimes situation like this, people would not spend more money on drums and stick. Sometimes because their income actually gone down, so unemployment increase at that time. So because of the COVID-19, most of the places, offices, the people become unemployed. Therefore, they will not spend that much of money for the entertainment and all that thing. So as a result of that, you can see the COVID-19 and outbreak, because it will affect the entire business world. So even the drumming and everything also affected by that. There should be a threat for the risk for the DNS. So their sales going to drop in future. Therefore, give some kind of a conclusion at the end. The business organization will be affected by this good and bad thing. However, it depends on the ability of DNS to manage their stock controlling. So you might be able to, if they might be able to get more stocks from India, Indonesia, Vietnam cheaply, I think they might be still able to actually give that orders on time. And there's opportunities there. You can again summarize the point that you wrote about. You see the opportunity from arising from the online trading, because not only Singapore, he can sell, he can actually DHL, he can courier everywhere, global world, global demand, he can internationally, he can satisfy. There is a very good opportunity for that. So in writing that answer, so it's better to talk about the good side and the bad side of this situation, external factors. At the end, give a good conclusion also. However, it depends on this situation and how it depends on how the Singapore government can manage the situation. It depends on how this the science and technology, if this COVID-19 can be controlled by the government. I think there's vaccines are right now. So if your economy again, they can regain, and then max the Dan will be able to again, he can do this business as a normal way. Ryan, give your best answer. This question actually very interesting question. Actually, when I designing this question, I wanted to at least to give kind of like a general idea, because everyone affected right now is COVID-19. So must be able to write a good answer like this kind of question. The impacts of exchange rate, COVID-19, the globalization for the business organization, good side than the bad side, must be able to analyze, evaluate. Okay, so that's the 12-mark question. So that's the end of this first paper. So you can find out that first 4 questions we have discussed in this mock paper, year 11 mock paper 2020, first business paper. Okay, the next session, then see you again on another paper, the second paper of the business, like large business organizations. That's the end of our discussion. Then see you again on next session with the large business paper. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You, sir.